I'm Fred Mack, CEO of Fam Spotlight and executive producer. We have great artists on the show today. Check them out. Welcome to the show.
My guest today is recording artist High Five with the hit song Unconditional Love, and the list goes on. So please welcome my guest, my guys, High Five to Fam Spotlight.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do this.
Say, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Hey, what's happening,
Hey.
y'all? So,
What up, fam?
welcome to Fam Spotlight. This is
Yes.
High Five, and
Yes.
we're celebrating the artists and the things that they do, influences that made impressions upon our culture. This is Fam Spotlight. I am Lance Chase with my co-host.
Yes, and they're known for songs like She's Playing Hard to Get, Unconditional Love, Kissing Game, and a few more, which you guys are going to listen to shortly. So let's begin. Let's start off with a song, right, Lance?
Well, I think everybody knows the Kissing Game, but let's give it a little bit. Let's turn it up a little bit, give it a little bit. Let me ask you guys, how have you been doing with the circumstances and the way the world is shaped up right now? I know everybody's marching and demonstrating for George Floyd and this COVID-19. Let's start with the COVID first. How have you been doing creatively and how have you been living?
Man, I'll start it off, man. It's been interesting. It's interesting to say the least, you know. And it's been a change for us, you know, especially as artists, people, you know, as people of color, even more so right now. But, you know, it's trying times, man. I think it helps us get focused. You know, we gotta check your faith. You gotta check your faith nowadays, man. You know, you gotta make sure you're in place because so much is going on and it's easy to get lost. You know, and take care of yourself and be safe. But, you know, we hanging in there, man. We're quarantining, we're getting over that, and now we got some real issues to face in this world, right?
Word.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
Do me a favor, everybody introduce yourself too when you start so everybody knows who you are. You know, we ain't seen you in a long time, so people gotta catch up and remember, and we wanna make sure everybody know who's talking and everything.
No doubt, no doubt. This Marcus Max Sanders, day one.
Yeah,
Go
baby.
ahead.
Man, this
I'm good. Let my peoples get some words, yo. Y'all go ahead.
This is Billy Covington. It's definitely been a different way of life. Navigating your emotions and the current climate, you know, in the United States is difficult. So some people take it better than others. Others are dealing with all kinds of financial issues, mental health issues, and you know, like Marcus said, man, we have to let our faith outweigh our fear. 'Cause there's a lot of stuff out here that we could be afraid of, but you know, we kind of gotta give it to God, let Him handle it, and you know, have faith in the process that we'll all get through this. And just know that if you're having an issue dealing with it, find somebody to talk to about it. You know. So that's super important, especially for us, for us as black men, black women. You know, a lot of times we'll feel a certain kind of way and not want to talk to anybody, but you know, you start bottling that stuff in, and it'll get to you. So make sure you have some kind of outlet, stress relief, you know, to get through your time in this period.
Cool. Go ahead, Ro.
Yeah.
Oh no, I thought they were all gonna say their names. That's why I was giving her a moment.
This is trusting. What's going on, y'all?
going on?
I just feel I'm chilling, man. You know, I just feel like during this time, you know, just to piggyback off of Marcus and what Billy said, is about testing your faith right now, man. You know what I'm saying? It's difficult. You know, this quarantine thing is kind of like extra, you know, especially when it comes to family and stuff like that, you know, not being able to be around your family and do
everyday things, you know, go to the store and all that without anything over your face or stuff like that, you know. So it's definitely right now, I believe it's just time to get closer to your faith, man. Get closer to God and stay out of trouble. Try to listen to the rules. You know, try to we don't have to spread this stuff. You know, we could try to stop. You know, be more careful about places you go, and you know, be careful about the social distancing thing, and you know, just stay in the Bible, stay learning right now. I believe that's what's going on. I believe that's where it's at right now. You know, let God do what He do and have faith in the Lord, and God gonna get us through this. God, you know, He handling some things right now, but I believe that when it's all over, the sun is gonna shine again. You know.
No doubt. Yeah.
All right.
You gotta turn his mic on.
Oh yeah, his mic is on mute.
It's on.
There we go.
Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
there you go.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, there you are.
You're not
All right,
driving.
cool.
You're not zooming
Nah.
and driving. Okay.
No. This is the only place I can get peace right now. You wouldn't be able to hear nothing but kids running around and jabbing, and yeah, you don't want that right now. But honestly, for me personally, in my home, it has been very peaceful. I have gotten to know my children on a very it's like they're their own people. But I'm really learning from them. And like it actually for me ties into this whole racism thing. You know what I'm saying? So how I feel about the COVID is it made my family closer. And how I feel about this racism is I don't understand it, because how do we fill children with love and they grow up to be this? So I'm confused. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
But then just to piggyback real quick off of what Farouk said, my brother Farouk said about getting closer to family.
He said, "Brother
you know,
Farouk."
You already know. Assalamu alaikum, my brother.
Okay, I hear you.
Just to piggyback off of what Farouk said, I'm just gonna turn a twist, because that's a blessing to be able to be with your kids and watch that. But for the fathers that's out there that aren't with their kids, that only get a chance to see their kids on weekends and things of that nature,
Right.
you know, they may look at it a little bit different. You know, there's some parents out there, you have some kids who live with their father, and you have a lot of kids though who live with their mother, and sometimes either parent, whether it's male or female, they may not want the other parent to be around their kids during this time, because you just don't know and you want to play safe. So, you know, shout out to all the parents that may be dealing with, you know, not being able to be around,
see their kids, right?
Knowing that they want to be around their kids. They want to be there, but they can't be there because of the social distancing, and that's a whole nother level of stress.
It is, absolutely. Appreciate that, bro, because that affects people differently, man. And it goes back to my point that, you know, when you're feeling that way, man, communication is the key, man. Whether you're talking to your kids, you're talking to one of your brothers, you know, to get through it, man, help you navigate that situation. You gotta get it out though, because you'll go nuts if you don't get it out.
Word.
Speaking of communication, y'all, and you guys are great communicators. Y'all had some great songs and everything like that. Tell us a little bit about where you guys are now and what's going on with the group. Give us give us a little background of where y'all were and where you are now. Somebody real quick.
Go ahead, Matt. You start it off.
Okay, well, you know, for those who know and those who don't know, we started in Waco, Texas, late 80s, early 90s. Signed to Job Record, you know. We worked with Teddy Riley, R. Kelly, a host of top name producers in the 90s. We had a couple of hits on the charts. We definitely had some good experiences in those days. We experienced a few tribulations along the way. We lost our lead singer. You know, we've been rebuilding since then, and God has blessed us, you know, to replace our members, keep this name alive, you know, and keep the logo, and keep the this brand going. So that's kind of where we at now. I think Treston and Billy can get you more current of where we at today.
So I'd like to know why the name High Five. Where did that come from? Was it like a secret handshake? What was? Do you guys have like a secret handshake going on?
Well, you know, it is crazy to say that because that is the truth. Like, initially we all just kind of, that was the way we kind of complimented each other in a way. And so our very first photo shoot before we even signed to a label, you know, we didn't have a name yet, and so. After each photo shoot, we would give each other eyes and kind of compliment what's happening. And so the manager at the time said, you know, what do y'all think about the name High Five? And it was like, all right, you know, let's see if we can ride with that, because that was the energy we was producing. I mean, High Five stuck with us. We were 5 members. We loved New Edition. So that's what we ran with, and it worked for us. So, yeah, shout out to Vinny Bell. Shout out to Vinny Bell.
Yeah.
So speaking of working with producers and stuff, and being such a young age and everything, tell me a little bit about the way the Kissing Game launched you guys into stardom, and how much of the Kissing Game did y'all have to play when y'all was coming up?
Well, okay, I started with this Mac Dude speaking. You know, being teenagers, 15 and 16, all we could do was kiss at the time, right? You know, so.
Is that all you could do?
Well, that's all
we were supposed to be doing.
That was our strong point. Let's just say that was our strong point. We was good, you know, trying to be good kissers. But I think, you know, shout out to Teddy Riley and Dave Wade, Bernard Bell, man. They got together and they kind of catered the lyrics to you know, to what we were going through at that time, being teenagers. And I mean, you know, rest in peace to my man Tony Thompson. Great vocals he had. They came up with the right chemistry, the right mix of lyrics and melody. And Kissing Game, you know, we never imagined what it would be. Never, you know. Still to this day, you hear that song, you get positive feedback 20 years later. So, you know, it just took everybody as a unit to make it what it was. And I mean, Kissing Game still is a great song, right?
It is, yeah. Still on the radio, yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, do you want? Speaking of, Lance, you want to play the Kissing Game song?
Yeah, we gotta keep it tight, so we're gonna play a little bit of it, let people reminisce and remember when they first heard it. A lot of us getting a couple of kisses on during this time.
Right.
Y'all hear it?
Yeah. Yep. Shout out to LMA and Usher.
Fair back production, watching High Five. This is High Five for their best song, Kissing Game.
All right.
Okay.
Now that's the party song.
All right.
So, let me ask y'all something. I know when y'all were in business, choreography was a big thing. Do y'all remember any lessons or anybody push y'all to get your steps right? Or do y'all still do dances and steps? Y'all still like that? How's it go?
Hell yeah. Do we do those steps? That was cute.
Literally, we still do the same choreography, you know, almost work to the T. You know, we changed a few.
Step to step.
Yeah, we changed a few things because of our age now, but you know, we try to give them the whole 90s vibe, you know what I'm saying? We want them to be at that place where they were when they heard it. So we typically do, you know, the same choreography. And to answer your question, man, we had choreographers, man, you know, we gave them hell. We gave the little choreographers hell, bro. And it wasn't necessarily that, you know, we weren't getting the routine. It was just you had to develop, you know, a regimen. We didn't know that you had to work on choreography for 10, 15 days straight, you know, until it was perfect. So being teenagers, our focus sometimes would change, you know, and we want to have fun sometimes. So I remember a few choreography sessions. We just agreed to, we just gonna run away today and not come back.
Yeah.
Literally, we ran
I definitely vouch for that.
We ran on the streets and ran away, and they had to call the security come find us and stuff. And I mean, we learned from our mistakes. We learned, and we paid once we got in the hang of it, for sure.
Yeah, we definitely did that a lot. We definitely ran away. You know what I'm saying? Because it got, yo, Mac, you funny. Because I remember, man. I remember being in Manhattan, man. And I remember running across the street. I forgot where we was at rehearsal. It was upstairs. We had to walk upstairs and all that. But I remember running across the street talking about, nah, man, nah, we good. We ain't coming back, yo. And we was gone for a minute, man.
That's funny. That's funny.
But shout out to everybody we work with, though. We work with some cats. Shout out to Rosie Perez. We work with Rosie Perez. We work with my man Lusky from Soul Train. We work with him. We work with Darren Henson, you know, from Soul Fools and all that. We work with Darren Henson. Yeah, we work with a lot of different choreographers that are like really big right now.
Who was the most challenging choreographer you guys had? Like
they always challenging. They all had their own. Because see, everybody had their own different style. So we had to learn everybody's different style. You know, every choreographer was different. You know, so I would say that it was challenging. Every choreographer had their challenging situations for us, you know, because they was doing steps that we ain't, we singers. I mean, we could dance, we could catch on, but you know, we're not, choreographers ourselves. So we had to go over it, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 times, before it became our own, where we got on the stage and it looked crisp, But every choreographer, had their challenging moments, man. But shout out to them all, man. You know what I'm saying, for hooking us up, man.
Okay. That's what's up. Yeah. So Lance,
go ahead, Rose.
No, go ahead. So I was just, of course we're in the whole quarantine and the pandemic and everything and stuff that's happening out and police brutality and all that type of stuff. But before all of this happened, did you guys decide to form a group to come back together and perform, or are you guys deciding to do that after this, or?
And we been had done that. We 7 years in now.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
So this year was going to be a really good year for us. We got a lot of money, but we've been on some tours. We performed the Essence. The Essence Festival. Yeah, it was Teddy Riley and friends. We was up there with Tank and Genuine and SWV.
Keith Sweat.
Keith Sweat. So we was on a huge tour. This year we were doing the Tom Joyner cruise and some other stuff that got canceled. So yeah, we've been heavy on the road, the past few years, and it's been gradually getting better up until this point. So now it's just it's a regroup and try to figure out what our next steps are. You know what I mean? We had a lot of shows booked, and once there's some confidence about this COVID thing, whether it be treatment or a vaccine, we get to be able to start sliding back into some places and doing some shows. So
let's read T right quick for everybody who might be joining us. This is Fam Spotlight, brought to you by Fred Mack. And we're with the group High Five, and High Five has been letting us in on a couple of secrets, not really yet, but we're getting into their background. Matter of fact, speaking of secrets, I wanted to know, when y'all first came about and the groups that y'all were touring with back then, was there any competitions or anything that you remember where y'all had like a rivalry with a different group, or y'all hated to perform before for a group or after a group? Was there any tensions, any secrets you could share about being in that era, because it was real competitive back then?
Yeah.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, it wasn't. I don't recall. I don't recall having like any kind of like beef or anything like that with any artist per se. But competition was always there, but not in a negative sense. You know what I'm saying? It was all in a positive way. You know what I mean? Because you want to go out there, you want to be the artist to do your best. We was on the road with with True, Tony, TLC, and the list goes on and on and on, like the best of the best, and especially in the 90s, man. 90s R&B music, man, that era, man, the best of the best was out. You know what I'm saying? And so our thing was, we just when it's our time slot, and it's time for us to go out there and give them that 45 minutes with the band. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna go all in. You know what I'm saying? So whoever comes on after us, that's on them. You know what I'm saying? But we was like, whoever we came on after, we had to make sure that, we did our thing, and whoever came on after us, they had to make sure that they did their thing, because we did what we had to do. Rest in peace to my man Tony Thompson, who we shared the stage with, man.
Amen.
So we did our thing, man. It like I said, it was friendly competition with all the greats, all the legends that was out, back then. It was a great time, man, and all we had to do was just make sure that when it was time for us to go on the stage, man, we gave it 100%.
Every time.
So this is for everybody. I want everyone's different answers, or I don't know if you guys were all together. When did you guys realize you made it? Like when your song, like what were you at when the song made it on the radio? Do you remember that?
Yeah, this Max speaking. Now, made it is a perception from each individual, right? I guess I do remember the very first time hearing the first single, Just Can't Handle It, on the radio, locally here in Waco. K104 was a station that we all listened to. And Tom Joyner was on. So big shout out to Tom Joyner. He supported us a lot back in the show. And when he first played it, I think we were all on the same vehicle together, right? We hear him announce it. Hey, this is this young group out of Waco, Texas, and this is playing produced by Teddy Riley. So we were at the light, at the red light, and we all got out the red light and started dancing, and this is just time for the moment. People probably were thinking, what's wrong with you guys? So, and after that first initial, time of hearing it, every time we would always get out at the light when it was on the radio and stuff. Those were good moments. I mean, we was just young and happy to be in it, for sure.
So I guess my question is, do you guys regret any of those old videos? Is there any one of those videos y'all wish you could have shot over?
I probably wouldn't say, I wouldn't use the word regret. But I say I wish we could change a few things. You know, you can change a few things now that you look back.
They're classics now. I was watching them before we did the interview. It's some classic videos.
But I appreciate that.
Just Another Girlfriend was that was for me. We could do that. I don't regret it, but we could do that. We could do that over. We could do Just Another Girlfriend over, yo. We could do Just Another Girlfriend over.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel? Oh, do you guys feel like around this time that it's that male group can come back to make a comeback? Because you're not really seeing that nowadays. So do you feel like
yeah.
that?
Oh yeah.
Like
I feel
a young group?
I feel like it's gonna happen as soon as this stuff starts settling down. I think that they're gonna be ready. I think the world and R&B lovers is gonna be ready for a lot of R&B right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
I just think when this is all over, there's gonna be a whole different surge of, especially our era, because everybody's working on something right now. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's working on something right now. So when this is over, we're working. You gonna find out like everybody else.
We like exclusives here, man. We want that
You gonna
juice.
find out with everybody else, man. You gonna
What's
find
the
out
new
with
single? Let us have
it. You gonna find out with everybody else, but everybody's working, man. And when this thing lifts, I just believe that it's gonna be a whole brand new type of fresh air for everybody, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I believe that the industry is gonna be different. It's not gonna be the same.
Right.
But they're gonna be ready. And we gotta be ready too. When you know what I'm saying? We gotta be ready.
Mm-hmm.
So briefly, we got a little bit of time left because we had a time restraint on you guys, and I've been enjoying this. So I guess the last thing I wanted to just ask you guys, what was the hardest thing you think the group had to overcome, and how do you see your future?
Go ahead, Mac. Do it.
Yeah.
No, go ahead, baby.
I don't know. I would assume this kind of would be obvious, and I have a few of them, but obviously the loss of the lead singer Tony, rest in peace. That was a difficult one for me personally, and I probably could speak for the rest of the group, but just that loss in general, man, not really having not being prepared for it, not knowing what was next for us, because he definitely was a major factor, and the presence of our group. He was a major factor. So we lost Tony, man. I know that I didn't have the will to keep going. I really didn't. I really care less about what was happening with music, and with prayer and supplication, and my dude Treston, and man, a few other people I could confidant. They kind of spoke life into me. That I'm still living, and I should take advantage of what God has blessed me. So that was a difficult time for me, for sure. And I mean, there's a few other trials that I can definitely speak about, but I think that's the top of the list.
All right, y'all. So that brings us to the end of this wonderful thing. I want to bring in the man who put it together for us. This has been Fam Spotlight. We with High Five. I want to bring in Fred Mack. Thank y'all. And I'm gonna step out. It's been nice to meet y'all, and much success. God bless y'all. Stay safe.
Thank you, bro.
Same to you, brother.
Yeah, bro. Take care.
All right.
And while we wait, oh, there you
There
go.
we go.
Hey, thanks for this interview. I really appreciate it. We appreciate y'all.
Absolutely, brother.
And keep us posted on any new projects, new things that's going on with y'all, whatever. Let us know. You're always welcome.